All right, let's go. Day number 25 of running paid ads for a marketing agency. So B2B ads, which are not as common. You won't see them as often on YouTube or anywhere else just because you don't have as many businesses in general. And then even when it comes to businesses, most of them out there are for consumers, meaning that they sell a drink, clothing, and so on. But here we are trying to sell to other business owners. Actually, not necessarily selling, but just making that contact first and then actually starting a conversation and all of that. So in this video, because in this series we go over multiple things, and in this one specifically, I want to talk about something that's really related to what's happening right now in the ad account. And that is the UK market. So, first of all, as you might know if you've watched all the other videos until now, although I don't mention it in every video, but I am primarily working with US brands, eCom brands, and also here with the paid ads, I'm only targeting US. Just because it's definitely the best market, it's the one that's willing to spend to grow, and they want to grow. Because for example, here in Europe, where I'm from, you don't see as many companies actually wanting to grow. For example, if a clinic or if a store has success, they don't really think of expanding right away. They're happy with where they are. While in the US, you already think of having the next store, of having a bigger scale, of expanding from the US to UK and so on, right? So it's a different mindset. And with all of that being said, I do have one client from the UK right now, and I would say that in most cases they are willing to spend almost as much as a brand from the US, with the following exception. They are able to spend 2K, 3K, 4K or more for a retainer for you as a marketing agency, let's say, but they won't necessarily spend as much on ads in most cases. And that's because the UK market is not necessarily as big. It does come with a risk, right? So unless you want to exit or anything like that, then it actually helps to spend less, to acquire customers slowly and steadily. And then also think of the lifetime value and so on, right? Because even myself, I'm not here to make a quick buck. I prefer to make more and more money every year than make 1 million a year and then basically for the rest of my life never hit that again, because I never created something sustainable, right? So that's the mindset, and I would say that's the best one if, let's say, you want predictable growth. Because yeah, you can hustle and bustle and have success right away, but then probably if you keep that mindset, you won't really make it, right? Because how many gamblers do you know that are mega rich? Not that many. How many investors you know that are millionaires? Well, almost everyone is a millionaire if they just invest for a long enough time. So I was just looking at the time here. We went over a couple of things, but let's start with the UK. Why am I mentioning it? We already talked about Europe, but let's talk about the UK, because UK is still a good market. It's similar with the US in terms of, let's say, the parity of the dollar and the pound. Of course, in the US, it's still the revenues, the profits, the salaries, everything is slightly higher. But at the same time, you also need to take into account what's the cost of living in each one, and it's also slightly lower in Europe, in UK. But the pound is fairly strong as a currency, so overall it kind of balances out. So you can work for someone from UK or US, and it isn't much of a difference, or it shouldn't be, in terms of retainers and so on. Maybe when you get into Canada, Australia, there might be, just because, for example, 3,000 US dollars means, I think, around 4K in Australian dollars and Canadian dollars. Haven't worked with a client from there in a while, so I can't remember the currency. But yeah, it definitely seems higher. Well, for example, a 3K retainer 3,000 US dollars. In the UK means around 2.5k pounds. So it does seem like a lower amount, right? It is actually, realistically, it is a lower amount when you look at it as a number. But when you make the currency, the conversion, of course, is different. But why do I want to mention UK? Well, because first of all, I am working with a client from the UK right now. Second, I have tried, and I still have cold email going out each and every day from Monday to Friday, because ideally you don't send on weekends. And the truth is that in the US, because I had a list from the US that I sent emails to, and it didn't really work. The reply rate was very low, and yeah, I didn't have the best message. That's for sure. However, almost the exact same message received way more replies in the UK, in the rest of Europe, and even in Australia, and even in Canada. So I think the US market is just slightly saturated. That doesn't mean there's no opportunity there. I mean, I just had a call with a US brand last week, and actually this week, like 2 days ago, on Thursday, I believe, and today is Saturday. And I will probably have another one with another US brand on Monday or Tuesday. And the truth is that most agencies out there suck. So you can easily take like almost any brand that's out there that has an agency and probably do a better job, if you can actually do a better job. So the UK, as I mentioned, is a potential market. And with all of that being said, I can actually tell you right now and then actually show you that I have created one new ad set targeting the UK. So what I want to actually look at is the CPM, the click-through rate, the CPCs, and see if it's cheaper to actually target businesses from the UK and actually see who the heck Meta will target. Because in the US, I've seen it target a lot of, let's say, college students that were usually playing soccer, football, or they were just starting out with their Shopify store. I mean, maybe they didn't even create it, they just knew Shopify existed. So yeah, the targeting was the best, but you also need to remember that the pixel has to learn to some extent who is qualified and who is not. And it only gathers this data after it gets enough traffic, enough conversions, and enough conversions both for the lead forms and for the people who are booking calls. And actually, I do have a call, I think on Monday, with someone who booked from the ads, which is a store just starting out. But this is how it works, right? You don't have to work just with the biggest brands. Like you won't work with Pepsi, with Coca-Cola. Maybe then you won't work with the $100 million brands. Maybe not even with the 1 to 10 million, but you can work with the ones that are just starting out, and that can become the next 1 million, 10 million brand, and that basically gives you 2K, 3K, 4K a month in retainers. But enough with the yapping here. Let's switch the camera and look at the ad account. All right, so we are in the ad account. First of all, let me just show you that basically we don't have the data from yesterday because no one updated this today. So yeah, today is 25th and yesterday was 24th, but basically I can show you what happened yesterday in here. And we have $36 in spend and 2 leads. So I believe one of them was the person who actually booked a call. And besides that, let me show you what I've done today. So today, no results. I've actually turned off some ad sets here because clearly they weren't really working. But now Meta, as always, is starting to be more efficient when you give it less spend. So yeah, thing to note, this is how you learn. But this is what I did here. So if we zoom in, because it was actually zoomed out, you can see that I created a UK campaign, and the main difference with it, there are actually 2 differences. So let me go through it. The first main difference is the fact that it's targeting UK, right? United Kingdom here. Besides that, I basically didn't have to change anything in here because yeah, it's not necessary. Maybe there was one thing that I should have changed, but honestly, it's not that important. However, let me show you the lead form. So this is the lead form, and actually let me go here because this is where you should be able to see it. Let's see, does it show me or not? I forgot how you even, I forgot. Yeah, I think basically it doesn't show it just because it wasn't even created, but oh, so we have it here. All right, so the main difference is the following, and actually I just realized that I didn't change it for all of them. So what I changed is the currency. So I changed it to pounds because I have this one. So eCom Shopify URL question copy. So it's the latest one I made, and actually my mistake here for not setting all of them to the same one. Fortunately, it didn't even start to spend, so not a big thing, but this is definitely a very small thing, right? Like if you look here on the image, I still have dollars, but I do think it helps when you have these details dialed in, when you actually create relevancy and actually use pounds instead of dollars. So as you can see, pounds everywhere. I don't think I missed anything. And yeah, the usual questions that you already saw, and then collecting the email, full name and phone number. So that's the main thing for today. And these changes are small for sure, but they do matter. I mean, you just need to find one channel, one country, one offer that works, and then you can scale that to tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But let's switch the camera back. All right, so we're back to end this video, and as a conclusion, as you've seen, the main thing is just changing the targeting from US to UK, or at least duplicating it. And these are small things, right? Like, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but the thing is, in most cases in life, you just need one thing, right? Even when you get like the partner of your life, which is one of the most important decisions ever, it probably just started with a hello or something along those lines. And it's the same here with business, with paid ads. You need to try out different things, and just one has to click, and that's it. And yeah, there are other channels right now. So the personal brand definitely helps, because one of the brands found me. Yeah, one of the brands that I had a chat with last week found me on LinkedIn. So it works. Use LinkedIn, please. If you want to have success, only if that's the case. And besides that, I would say that there are different ways to partner using different platforms sometimes, because as you might know, many people start on, let's say, Upwork. And even myself, I did use Upwork in the beginning, like many years ago. But it's definitely not the best. Like, there are so many out there much better than me at Facebook ads, at Google ads, at each one individually. But if you look at everything holistically and take into consideration the experience, the ability to actually think in specific ways, the ability to actually communicate, then when you mix all of that, then that's when you actually get into the 1% area where you are really that good, because you just have multiple skills that you've stacked, and it never ends. So with all of that being said, let's end this video for today. Hope you went, no, that's not a good expression. Hope you left with something from this video, such as trying out different things, different country, even for living maybe. But I always hope this is practical. It is for me, at least. And basically, see you tomorrow. And until then, peace out.